Hi, everybody. I'm James Cronenberger. Lately, I've been making a lot of posts, especially before the election, on different issues to get people discussing and talking and communicating. Um, it was somewhat sometimes Democrat versus Republican, um, or morality versus not morality. But I noticed that sometimes adults act worse than kids. Um, we teach our kids, to show respect to others, and that voting is a privilege, and we each have a right to vote for the candidate of our choice, right or wrong. And I guarantee I made mistakes in the past by supporting certain candidates, but I'm willing to learn from it. And when I find out that they don't follow through with what they say, I won't vote for them again. Um, I we had such a big problem with the economy in the United States that uh, they swept the whole nation with the Republicans this time around, because Republicans are the ones that don't like to raise taxes. They like to save money, and our economy right now is in trouble and turmoil. And I'm hoping that our economy can be fixed. I'm hoping the right people that are immigrants get a stay, the ones that have no record, the ones that are working, you know, because I'm going to fight for them. I don't think all immigrants should be returned back to their countries. Um, we understand from the Mexican border, we have the cartel that are buying up businesses in Texas and other parts of the country and running human trafficking from some of them as a drug ring. Those are the people we need to really keep out of our country. Not all Mexicans are bad. Not all Chinese people are bad. Not all Canadian people are bad. You know, Sometimes we blame the people on the way the government is. Um, you know, if God created everybody equally, that means everybody in every nationality. It means women and men. When he talks about the husband is the head of the household, it's talking about spiritual. And a lot of people misinterpret that. And some of the men think they could just boss their wives around. That's not what it's about. Um, I I remember whenever my dad was going to buy a new car, he took my mother out to look for it. And every year he would turn in his car for a new one. But my mother was part of the decision. Same with property. My dad would take my mom out to look at places. When they bought this house, I believe both of my parents came out, and my dad offered them cash for a certain amount, and they took it. And now the house is worth $200,000, and we got it a lot less than that. But it's important that decision making is made by both parties. Voting now is a personal decision. You vote for the candidate of your choice, Democrat or Republican, and I have voted for Democrats in the past, and I am a registered Democrat for the time being. I may switch back in the primaries, just because of some things that happened, you know. And I told a few people when I switched parties, I am a conservative, and I'll vote as a conservative. Um, when I say conservative, I'm talking about family values for the most part. You know, um, when people say separation of church and state, which I do support 100%, we can't change what our forefathers said, in the Constitution. When we took prayer out of the public schools, or the Pledge of Allegiance out of the public schools, what's wrong with saying the Pledge of Allegiance? Our country has gotten so idiotic on patriotism. I've heard neighbors say they hate this country. You know what my thing is? Move out, and see if the other countries are as good as the United States. Um, I know some people that are from other countries who love America. America is an opportunity that other countries don't have. I've been a prisoner advocate for many years to fight for prisoners' rights. But if you go to China, where they take out 200 people out at a time and execute them, or you go to the Arab countries, Pakistan, some of those countries, they'll put people in cages and dunk them underwater, or they'll stand on their hands and legs and start shooting them from the bottom going all the way up. And we don't do that in the United States. Yes, I do think lethal injection is inhumane, and I do think we have major problems in the United States prisons. One is a lack of rehabilitation. Governor DeWine, who I've been at odds with for years, has taken so much away from the prison system that there is no, the rehabilitation has shrunk. I remember I got more out of the programs that prisoners taught than I did staff, because prisoners cared. Staff just did it as a job and they rushed through it. We had one case manager up at Marion that would come in and say, go ahead, sign the sheet, and then you could leave. She didn't teach. And that's the problem. People think, that they don't have to do their job. It's just like our government. We have people in office that's been in 30, 40, 25, 30 years in the U.S. Senate who barely can walk. There should be an age limit. There should be a term limit. We have presidents that are over 70 that's serving, and a new one that's going to be serving, for the second time. There should be an age limit, either 60 or 65 you can't run past. Our government is corrupt too, just like other government. But we still have more freedoms in the United States. We don't need to spend years and spending $1 billion trying to impeach someone and not pass laws. That was one reason the Democrats took a big beating this time, was because of all the time they spent trying to impeach Trump. If you don't like somebody, vote against them. You don't have to spend the taxpayers' money to try to impeach them or come up with charges that may or may not have been true. I'm not going to say they were true or weren't true. I'm not an attorney. People need to be held accountable, if they do stuff wrong, and I'm all for that. But just to press charges so a person can't run for public office is wrong. Before I vote, I always pray and ask God to lead me into the direction that He would want me to go. And, I don't make posts publicly on who I support. Some people know just by some of my videos. People would be surprised the way I vote when they think I vote the other way. So we have an obligation, being American, being a Christian, and being, just being American, like I said. Folks, please consider what I said seriously, and let's start working together, Republican and Democrats. We have the responsibility for this country. Thank you, guys.